Hey, we're here today with Melissa, and we're going to give her a nice makeover. I've used Melissa before, and we gave her a very dramatic change last time. But I do want to give her more blonde. We're going to make her blonder. And on her haircut, she's still looking good even after 6 weeks of this cut. But what I do want to do is shape this in a little closer. This is what's really grown, and texturize her with my shark tooth a little bit more, but still leave this length in this nice long bang. And I think going blonder will make her haircut even a little more dramatic. I'll make her nice and blonde, lots of vanilla blonde, lots of slices of a paler blonde through the bang, in the longest part of the hair. And even back here, I still want to get some blonde in this crown. I'll weave them a little thinner back here, just because this is the shorter part of her hair. And you can see she's like a dark blonde. Her hair is naturally just really great hair to begin with. But I think in order to get some of this gold out of here, I'm going to make her a little lighter on the roots too, with a cooler shade. I'm going to start her color, and when I come back, you'll get to see the haircut. Back here, and I've got Melissa's color done, and I've just sectioned off, right here at the flat of her head where that head rounds, and we're going to make this, clean this up, make this a little shorter. I'm using a shark tooth on Melissa because I love the effect it gives on her hair. It's a very ragged, jagged cut. It gives lots of texture and makes these ends very fringy. And what I'm doing now is just removing some of this weight on her neckline. I like to section it, converge that hair, and then take it off with this shark tooth. It really gives a nice effect of texture and not a blunt cut at all. So it's ideal for this kind of hair that you want a really ragged, soft edge. The shark tooth, you can see, is what we've designed. We've had it about 10 years. It's an excellent tool. One side takes out more hair, and one side takes out less hair. It takes a double-edged blade that you buy in the drugstore, so you don't have to order special blades. We take a dime or a penny and just take the screw out, replace the blade, turn it over, use the other side, so you really get a lot of wear out of this. You can use this to lift and take hair off. That's why we left this long tail on here, so you can take and remove ends and have really light, ragged ends. Lots of texturizing. We started out just using it just to cut fringe around the face. Then we started doing entire haircuts with it. Razor cuts are very big right now, and they have been for a while. Even for stylists that like to do hair extensions or wigs or weaves, this is ideal because it blends and cuts even that those hair extensions and blends it so nicely with very little work with a texturizer or any kind of 7-tooth notchers. It really gives you that effect so much easier. So it's ideal for styling even hair pieces and hair extensions. You can see just what nice that does on those ends. And I'm taking it just off this nape here because we want to leave some length on this top. And what was nice is because of the shape of Melissa's hair, this length in this front, this just really gives her a nice shape. Now in here, she had some thickness, so I'm going to go in here kind of vertically and take a little weight out. That way, it won't leave her a weight line in here. We do like all this ragged edge. It just makes this hair look soft and feminine. You don't want any blunt cuts in this because then it leaves the ends heavy, and you just end up working the hair more for that texture when you can do it so easy with the shark tooth. And you see I'm holding this down low, so it's not taking this way up over her ears. It's leaving the length. Right there is a little too long. I'm going to pull that back and take it off. But it really gives such this nice effect that you don't have to work out so hard. You could do this with point cutting. You could do it with a regular razor. But, this is more fun to use. It's just what I prefer to use. I think that it gives me this look really quick and really easy. When you come back, I'm going to show you how I flat iron this and really play up the haircut, and you'll see the shape even better. See now, I'm drying Melissa just with my hands, and you can see how already that cut, you can see how these edges are just nice and soft and ragged, no blunt lines in there. And just drying the hair with my hands, I think gives you that volume that you want. And then I'll go with my flat iron and really finish the ends so the ends have a little more definition and you can see the haircut better. Just drying this hair with the hands I think is better. If I were to use a brush would make it too round and too finished on the ends. We like it very piecey and jagged. To me, that's what makes it look modern. If I were to curl this, it would tend to look matronly or old, and that's what we don't want. You can see how that color, just that 10C I did on the scalp, lifted her just a shade, so it still looks like a low light in the hair. It just doesn't leave it solid. And plus, when her hair grows out, she'll just have a better grow out. And it just works almost as a tone or two on the hair that gets just a little brassy over 6 weeks when it's grown. And you can also see, even on this haircut, that there are lots of layers in this bang. All right, that is good. Good. We're back with Melissa here, and you can see I've got her cut and dried. Now I'm taking my flat iron in small sections and really smoothing out this curl just on these ends. This way, you know, it's so deceiving when you see it blown dry, and especially if you put a brush in the hair, it makes it too round and you don't really get to see the true shape of the cut. So I like to smooth it out, get all these edges nice and straight, and then do a little more texturizing or a little more razoring wherever it still looks thick at. Once you smooth these ends, then like I said, you see the true shape. I did put a little finishing spray on here just to help keep that smooth, and you can see now the shape showing up when you smooth out these ends. And you don't necessarily have to make the hair flat and straight. You can lift it at the roots and pull it out so those ends are light and it has volume without curl. I'm going right here to this side here, just pulling it out and down slightly. You want to go with the way that it grows and the way that you've cut it, you know, with that natural fall. So this side you can see is nice and tapered. If I did anything on her, it would be through this longer side, just at the round of the head. I'm going to pull another section down here. And we're going to check this. It's probably best for you to stay on that side, at least the lights, is it so bright.
Yeah.
So right here, I'm going to hit her with just a little bit of our fast drying spray. It's almost like starching a shirt. You want it nice and crisp and you want some volume or body. Put a little bit of your finishing spray on there. Then when you flat iron that section out, you get that lift, and then you see that very ragged edge is what you want. In this crown, if you want this to stand up and be a little piecier, pull that straight out with a little bend to it. That way it's not poker straight, but it just gives it a little direction. And this will stay. I mean, it really gives it staying power. You know, we're in high humidity here in Charleston, so it doesn't take much for the hair to curl back up. So using your styling spray like this to really flat iron each section and really place. I'm working my way around the head here. You can see I started on the underneath. I've got this kicking up in the crown here because we want some lift in there. I want lift in there, so you can see I've pulled this up and out for this, so the crown's not laying flat. Using that little bit of that finishing spray really makes it firmer, and it'll keep that humidity out, and it holds the shape better. Now I'm going to turn her this way here, and I'm going to get this crown right here. Get this crown this way. I'm going to get this very crown done. I've got her bangs. Already you can see I had lifted it with, just drying it with my hands, but when you go to flat iron these bangs, go with the way that it grows. So we want to go with the way that I've cut it and with the way that it wants to fall. Same thing right here. You want this up and out. Taking small sections, and that finishing spray makes it nice and firm here, so it'll give it that finish and that hold there. Thank you. Right here, we want a little bit of this here. I showed this in Sasha's video, but Sasha's hair was much shorter, layers, and so Melissa's got more hair, and I think you get the effect just as easy. It's the same technique. Once you've got that hair flat ironed, then you want to go, I've combed through it just with my hands, and you want to just shake it out some, just with your fingers. Sometimes you can blow dry it, just to break it up. But you can see already what a nice shape that's given that. It's really took that hair from looking a little mundane to now looking a little edgier and a little newer. You can see after flat ironing that crown up, now she's got great lift in there. And I do see a few little spots I want to tweak a little bit, and it's not a lot, but like I said, once you get this hair dry, you can see where you want a little more weight out of that. So I'm going to take my tiny shears and I'm going to point cut a little more weight out of this. Out of these sides, not, this side's doing good. I think it's right in here, Melissa, you can feel it. So I'm going to just lift this hair up, and a tiny little section here, because what's nice about this is it'll take out that weight without taking off the length. We just want this a little piecier and not so thick. It'll give her hair a little more movement in the longest part here. See, just going right in and taking that out. And of course you want that uneven. You don't want that to be perfect. You want to take out pieces where you see that obvious jagged edge there. And plus, you know, going over to the side like this is going to be the heavier side, but it doesn't have to be one length. Right here in the crown a little bit, I want that a tad bit shorter. Go right in and point cut that. Because so many times you do the cut and you get that shape in there, and then you tweak it and make it a little more personal. Because once you dry, you can't tell what the hair is going to do until you see it dry. It can be very deceiving sometimes because it shrinks up, the hair's got curl in it, you want to smooth it and check it with no wrinkles in it. Already that is better right there because I've got it short enough in here, it was to the side where that hair fell over. Is where I'm going to take a little bit more. I still see one more spot I want to take out. I think I'm going to do it with these shears because this takes a little more obvious hair here. And you can see right in here, we want this a little lighter, not shorter in the length. We like these edges, but it just gives her just a nice, nice silhouette here, having this closer and flatter and that volume on that top. It's almost like a optical illusion. It looks longer on the top than it really is. It's just because I had all this texturizing in here. It's nice and blended. Going in right there, you can see these shears take out little chunks. Still subtle though. You know, if you stand here and chew on this one spot, she'll have no hair there, so you do have to be careful. We don't necessarily do it down to the scalp. We don't do that anymore. We want to work on the ends and have the ends nice and light. I still feel the need to take a little bit right here. And I'm pulling that all the way back. Still leaves her length. And you just go in and take it just on those ends. I'm going down into it, which I think makes a difference too. Now, now that just gave the longest part of her hair a little more movement, which is what we wanted. Right here I think needs a tad bit too. I'm using my mirror here as Elise is filming me, just so I can look at her from the side in the mirror too, because you can stand over her and look, but when you stand back and look into the mirror, you just get a better eye at it. Now, we've got enough haircut on her, maybe right there. Hold on, Elise, one more spot. One more spot, because I don't like that little ragged hair right here in front of her ear. I'm just taking that few little hairs that were so nice and blonde. Now, we're going to do, got to have a little pomade. A little wax is what really finishes it. Even now it still looks good, but what the Max Wax does is just gives it separation and hold. And all it takes is just a little dab of this right on my hands. Get it on your fingertips, and then you just block this in. You want to just rub it on the top layer. You don't want it down at the scalp. I mean, you could put that on there, but I think this is a little heavy for her hair. Her hair is actually nice and healthy, and she doesn't need a lot of product on here, just enough to help define those ends. And you can see now it almost plays up the color too. Even her color looks a little more defined. You see the highlights standing out, and even her lowlights are still subtle. So pretty on Melissa. Let's dust her off here. I'll take one more good look at her. I'm going to twirl her around here so you can get a nice look at her shape here. And just removing that little bit of hair really just cleaned it up without having to make a major change. And you can see where I did not carry her highlights all the way down. I wanted this part to be the blondest part. It really plays up the haircut. Thanks for watching.